And welcome to the 2024 presidential election night in America. We have the incumbent president Joe Biden, who will be facing off Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. Now, take a look at the preferred candidate for President Joe Biden. Is slightly more preferred to be president over his opponent Ron DeSantis. Now, take a look at the approval rating of Joe Biden. He is disapproved of by 55%, and he's only approved of by 39%, meaning he's underwater by negative 16 points. And now we have polls coming out of the state of Georgia. Polls out of Georgia suggest that Ron DeSantis will win this state. And now polls out of Arizona are saying Ron DeSantis is favored to win this state. And Wisconsin polling suggests that Joe Biden will defeat Ron DeSantis, meaning Joe Biden is favored to win Wisconsin. And now we have our first batch of poll closing 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Kentucky, 8 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis. Polls are now closing the state of Indiana, 11 electoral votes, no surprise here. No surprise out of South Carolina's 9 electoral votes. And now out of Vermont, 3 electoral votes will be going to Joe Biden. And now our first swing state, Georgia, too early to call, just 12% in. Joe Biden holds the lead, but keep in mind, too early to call. Now we can project the state of Virginia with its 13 electoral votes will be won by incumbent President Joe Biden. He will pick up the state of Virginia by around 7 percentage points. We have now our second batch. Poll closing 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time from 3 states. West Virginia, 4 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis is the projected winner. And now another swing state we will be keeping a close eye on. North Carolina, must win for Ron DeSantis. Too early to call, just 23% in. Joe Biden holds a lead, but too early to call. Those out of Ohio, 17 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis will win Ohio. And now an update on the race to 270. 49 electoral votes for Ron DeSantis with Joe Biden at 35. Now 8 o'clock p.m. poll closings Eastern Time from these states. Oklahoma's 7 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis. Tennessee's 11 electoral votes will be added to Ron DeSantis' column. Polls have now closed in Mississippi. Ron DeSantis is the projected winner in this state. As well as Alabama, Ron DeSantis will win that state. Ron DeSantis is the winner of Missouri. And an update on the key battleground state of Georgia. Remains too early to call, 30% in. Joe Biden remains in the lead at the moment. Polls have now closed in Florida. We now can make a projection out of Florida's 30 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis will win his home state of Florida by 14 percentage points. 88% of the estimated vote is in. 57% for Ron DeSantis to Joe Biden's 43%. And now District of Columbia, 3 electoral votes. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win this state. Polls have now closed in Massachusetts. 11 electoral votes added to Joe Biden's column. As well as Illinois' 19 electoral votes. An update on the swing state of North Carolina, too early to call, 41% in. Joe Biden's lead is narrowing. He's only up by 3% at the moment. Polls are now closed in Maryland. 10 electoral votes will be going to Joe Biden. Joe Biden will win Delaware's 3 electoral votes, as well as New Jersey's 14 electoral votes. Joe Biden will win Connecticut's 7 electoral votes. Incumbent President Biden will win Rhode Island's 4 electoral votes. An update on the key Rust Belt state of Pennsylvania, a must-win for the Biden campaign. Too early to call, 44% at the moment. Ron DeSantis is in the lead. Keep in mind, too early to call. Out of New Hampshire, too close to call, 48% in. Joe Biden holds a narrow lead at the moment. Another update on the map to 270. Ron DeSantis remains in the lead. He's holding his lead at 123 electoral votes, and Biden is trailing just at 90 electoral votes. We now have 8:30 p.m. poll closings Eastern Time from just one state. Arkansas, 6 electoral votes. No shocker here. Safe Republican state will be going to Ron DeSantis. Now let's take a look back at Georgia. Another update on this swing state. Must win for Ron DeSantis. Too early to call. 47% in. Joe Biden is in the lead at the moment. It is narrowing though. It is getting really close. Another update on the key battleground state of North Carolina as well. Another must win for Ron DeSantis if he wants to win the election. Too close to call. 54% in. Ron DeSantis now takes the lead for the first time tonight in the state of North Carolina. He's up by 1 percentage point. Another update on the map to 270, 129 electoral votes for DeSantis, and Joe Biden remains at just 90. We now have our 9 o'clock p.m. poll closings from these states. South Dakota's 3 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis' column. No surprise here out of Wyoming, safe Republican state will be going to Ron DeSantis. Polls are now closed in North Dakota. Ron DeSantis is the winner in this state. As well as Louisiana, Ron DeSantis will take its 8 electoral votes. Nebraska's 4 out of the 5 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis, while Joe Biden does get its 2nd congressional district. And now another update on the key state of Georgia. Too close to call. 59% of the expected vote is in. It is now a dead tie, even at 46.5 to 46.5%. And now Kansas 6 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis. Out of New York, no surprise here, safe Democratic state, incumbent President Joe Biden will win New York's 28 electoral votes. We now have a major projection, the second swing state we will call tonight. North Carolina's 16 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis is the projected winner of the state of North Carolina, a must win, and guess what? He has won it. 49% for Biden to Ron DeSantis is 51%. North Carolina will be called for Ron DeSantis. And now out of Colorado, incumbent President Joe Biden will win its 10 electoral votes. And now New Hampshire, another swing state, we now can call New Hampshire for Joe Biden's 4 electoral votes. Another update on the Sunbelt state of Texas, 65% in. Joe Biden holds a lead, but keep in mind a lot of counties have not been called yet, too early to call. Now we can call New Mexico, 5 electoral votes, incumbent President Joe Biden will win this state. Arizona, another key Sunbelt state, a must win for Ron DeSantis. Too early to call, 66% in. Biden holds a 5% lead. We cannot make a projection just yet. A lot of counties have not been called yet. We now can make a projection out of the state of Minnesota. 10 electoral votes, incumbent President Joe Biden will retain the state of Minnesota. 5% will be going, he will win it by 5%. This is also a must win, and he's won it. 88% in, 52 to Ron DeSantis, 47. We now can call the state of Minnesota for Joe Biden. Another update on the battleground state Rust Belt of Wisconsin. Too early to call. 48% of the estimated vote is in. 10 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis holds a lead of 11%, but keep in mind, too early to call. We cannot make a projection just yet. Now out of Michigan, too close to call. 70% in is a dead tie at 47% to 47% with its 15 electoral votes. Another update on the race to 270. Ron DeSantis is still in the lead at 172, but Joe Biden is slowly creeping up at 148 electoral votes. We now have our 10 p.m. poll closings from these 4 states. Utah, 6 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis will win this state, no surprise here. Another update on the swing state of Georgia, must win for DeSantis. Too close to call. Ron DeSantis is narrowly leading at the moment at 73% in. Another update on the Sunbelt state, also a must win for Ron DeSantis. Too close to call, 75% in. Joe Biden holds a lead of 1%. We cannot make a projection just yet. Montana's 4 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis is the projected winner. Another update on Wisconsin. Let's take a look at Wisconsin again. 76% of the estimated votes in. Joe Biden holds a lead of just 2%. Another update on the Sunbelt state of Texas. Must win for Ron DeSantis, obviously. Too close to call. 80% of the estimated vote is in. Ron DeSantis holds a lead in Texas. Too close to call. Nevada, 76% in. Joe Biden holds a lead of just 1%. Iowa's 6 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis. No shocker here. Another update on the map. 188 electoral votes for DeSantis and 148 for Joe Biden. We now have 11 p.m. poll closings from Eastern Time from the west coast of these 5 states. Wisconsin, another update here, remains too close to call. It is now a tie at 48%. 82% of the estimated votes in. We cannot make a projection just yet. It is a tie. And now California, 55 electoral votes. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win the state. It will put him over Ron DeSantis. Joe Biden will take the lead because California has a high electoral. Too close to call. 88% of the estimated voters in. Joe Biden holds a lead of just 1%. Hawaii's 4 electoral votes. No surprise here. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win the safe Democratic state, as well as Oregon's 8 electoral votes. Another update on Nevada. Too close to call. 87% in. Ron DeSantis has tied up with Joe Biden at 49%. Out of Washington State, 12 electoral votes. Incumbent President Joe Biden will win this state. No surprise here. We now have a major projection from the Sunbelt state of Texas. Its 40 electoral votes should give Ron DeSantis, put him back in the lead. Ron DeSantis will win the state of Texas by 6.6%, 92%, and we now can call the race of Texas for Ron DeSantis. As well as Idaho, polls have now closed in this state. Ron DeSantis will win this state. Another update on the map to 270. This race is extremely close. We do not have a winner just yet. Ron DeSantis is at 235 electoral votes, and Joe Biden is barely behind him at 226. We now have our 1 a.m. poll closings from just one state. Alaska's 3 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis. No surprise here. Georgia, we now have a major projection out of the state of Georgia, battleground state of Georgia. 16 electoral votes will be going to Ron DeSantis. 3.2% for DeSantis, 99% of the expected vote is in. Ron DeSantis is the projected winner of the state of Georgia. This is the first flip tonight for the DeSantis campaign. And now another update on the map to 270. Ron DeSantis expands his lead at 251 electoral votes, getting super close to 270. while Joe Biden is trailing him at 226 electoral votes. Out of Wisconsin, the first Rust Belt state we now can call, 10 electoral votes, Joe Biden is the projected winner of the battleground state of Wisconsin. This is a huge blow to the DeSantis campaign. This is big news, big good news for the Biden campaign. This is also arguably a must-win for Ron DeSantis, and Joe Biden has won the state of Wisconsin. Joe Biden will win the state of Wisconsin by under a percentage point, 0.4%. Joe Biden nearly wins this state at 50.2% to Ron DeSantis' 49.8%. And now out of Arizona, a must-win for Ron DeSantis, and guess what? He has won its 11 electoral votes. This is the second flip for Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis will win Arizona by 1.8 percentage points. And now out of Nevada, this is the third flip for Ron DeSantis. 6 electoral votes. Ron DeSantis has won the state of Nevada. He will win it by 0.4%, 98% of the estimated votes in. We now can't call Nevada for Ron DeSantis. We have another important projection out of the Rust Belt. Michigan's 15 electoral votes. Joe Biden will hold on to Michigan for the second straight election in a row. 3% is the margin for Joe Biden. 51 to Ron DeSantis' 48%. We now can call Michigan for Joe Biden. As well as Pennsylvania, this is huge news. This should put Joe Biden at 270 electoral votes, giving him the presidency. It's 19 electoral votes. We now can call Pennsylvania for Joe Biden. 0.6% is the margin for Biden. 99% in, 50.2 to Ron DeSantis' 49.6%. President-elect Joe Biden will move on to his second and final term. He surpasses 270 electoral votes. In fact, exactly hitting 270. This is the finalized map. 270 electoral votes for Joe Biden, and Ron DeSantis barely loses the election at 268. This is an extremely close election. This is the finalized map. And feel free to pause the video and take a look at the margins of every single state. These are the margins. And the winner of the popular vote belongs to Joe Biden. He gets more overall votes than Ron DeSantis. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe as we are about to hit 700 subscribers, and stay tuned for more election nights like this in the future.